All of this comes at a time where the House is trying to move on with more immediate financial matters like a budget. This is going to go to the Senate, where they're also working on setting aside money for tax cuts. I believe in the Senate, it's about $1.5 trillion over 10 years. Already, the numbers coming out of the White House are a little bit more than that, so they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Former Minnesota Republican Governor Tim Pawlenty says the tax reform is crucial. Getting it done sooner rather than later is important because Republicans' very control of Washington hangs in the balance. Governor, very good to have you.
Good to be with you, Neil.
So let's say they don't get this done till next year. Still a problem or no?
I think as long as they get it done within a reasonable amount of time before the 2018 elections, politically that'll be fine. But obviously, the sooner the better. The country needs more economic growth. We got an anemic GDP rate. We need tax simplification, and middle-income Americans need more money in their pockets. And this bill, or a bill like this, would accomplish all those objectives.
You know, I get the impression, Governor, a lot of Republicans are on defense over whether the tax cut thing is fair. So they're cooking up the possibility of a fourth tax rate to go make sure that the upper income don't get a total free ride, that the Democrats view of that. So don't make it 35%, maybe close to what it is now, 39.6%. How do you feel about that?
Well, I would prefer that we have 3 rates and that there's reductions on each level of rate, and what they had proposed would accomplish that. But as a matter of real politics, they may have to make sure they keep a higher rate on higher income. But, you know, that shouldn't be the stumbling block to getting this thing done. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. It's been a political holy grail for Republicans for the last decade. And if they don't get it done, particularly on the heels of the failure of repealing and replacing Obamacare, they're going to have heck to pay within their own party coming into the 2018 elections. And that's why I'm confident they will get something done. And the details, you know, can be worked out, but something significant will get done.
Yeah, but that was the same argument with getting the health care repeal done, yet there were a few senators who didn't agree. And I'm already hearing from Rand Paul, of course, indicating that if there's any hike in anyone's tax in the middle class, it's a no for him. It's a no. And I would imagine, I'm predicting, just me, Governor, that John McCain would be of the same mind. So then you get back to having to win over Democrats. How doable is that?
I would not presume that John McCain or any particular member, doesn't support a tax bill in the end. So I think it's premature to go there. But the idea of getting some Democrats is probably speculative unless you look at those Democrats who are up for re-election in red states and they're running as Democrats. So you think Indiana, think North Dakota, think Wyoming. There's a reason why the White House has been courting those Democrats. There's at least an outside chance that a few of them could come on board.
You have only 3 that you could realistically try to twist, and that might make up for the 1 or 2 Republicans you lose.
That's right.
If you had to forecast whether they're going to have to scale back the size and scope of these tax cuts to get it done, could you live with that?
Yeah, at the margins, you don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish. If they get 3/4 of a loaf, 2/3 of a loaf, as opposed to nothing, we've learned the hard way. Getting nothing is a great talking point, but it isn't great for the country. Some adjustments could be in order as a matter of getting it done, if that's what it takes.
Any thoughts on how the president should handle this, Governor?
In order to pass this kind of epic reform, once-in-a-generation reform, you need the president to use the bully pulpit to be out there promoting why this should happen. And why it should happen, Neil, is we got a country that is economically anemic as measured by our GDP growth, and that affects everybody. But we also need to have more people be able to complete their taxes on 1 or 2 pages, a big postcard, as they like to say. And then importantly, focus on the middle class. I mean, that's a really important part of this. And if it's going to be sold or bought as just giveaways to wealthy people, that's not going to go well.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Governor, thank you so much.